Good evening and welcome to the City of Isanti City Council meeting for Tuesday, July 20th. I'd like to call this meeting to order. If we can all rise for Pledge Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Doing roll call, all council members are present, minus Councilman Burgley. He's a little under the weather and did notify of his absence. Any public comment at this time? No public comment at this time. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda with the addendum?
Make a motion to adopt with the agenda.
Second.
Motion to adopt the agenda with the addendum from Councilman Lundin, and a second by Councilman Collison. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Proclamation, accommodations, or certified awards. There's one thing that I get the privilege of doing all by my lonesome, and that is only one thing, truly. I get to choose a float in our Jubilee Days Parade, and it is called the Mayor's Choice Award. Last year, I thought BMX had a pretty cool float, and that's who got it last year. This year, I was very impressed by our Cambridge Isanti Youth Hockey Association. So, in front of me, I have the Mayor's Choice Award and trophy that I would like to present to that Youth Hockey Association. And if you guys could all come up here, we're gonna take a photo together even.
All right.
Just come up here, you guys. This was a council award. It's the only thing I get to stand on. Who's gonna hold this thing? Short guys in front, short guys in front.
Are you in front, Jeff?
I gotta be in front too. Some of you guys are almost taller than me. We got a bunch of ladies over here. We'll turn, they'll tell us what to do. This guy's taller than me almost.
We can see all your faces. Everyone look right here and smile. Let's take a couple. I'll do one more. Smile. One more. Keep smiling. There's a lot of people ready to take pictures.
On the city webpage.
City webpage. All right, congratulations, guys. Keep up the good work. Maybe next year you can get the same reward. Let's give that Youth Hockey Association one more round of applause. Thank you guys. Keep up the creativity.
They don't want to stay.
This is boring to them. When you're that age, you think you'd want to hang out here?
I don't want to hang out here at my age.
I'll leave that one alone. Approval for the city council minutes for July 6th, which was a regular meeting, and May 18th, a planning commission meeting.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve by Councilman Lundin and second by Councilman Collison. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Announcements. Park Recreation and Culture Board meeting will be Tuesday, July 27th at 6 p.m. A city council meeting will be Wednesday, August 4th. It's a Wednesday because we have National Night Out on that Tuesday, I believe. That'll be at 7 p.m. And then we will have an Economic Development Authority meeting August 4th as well on that Wednesday following the city council meeting. Any council committee reports?
You have to rephrase that's not night out, it's night to unite.
Night to unite. National Night Out.
Night to unite.
Chief, is that what it is? We're going to go with night to unite. All right, we'll go with the night to unite. I think it was National Night Out when I was a kid.
It was.
There still is.
All right then, I'll just leave that alone too. Either I'm old or things have changed. I don't know which one it is. Maybe it's both. We'll move on. Any council committee reports? Let's move on to public hearings then. There's a resolution, consider the insurance sale and delivery of educational facilities revenue note.
Mr. Becker, can you
Yeah.
put it in layman's terms? I tried reading that thing.
In layman's terms, yeah. Basically, we've gone over all this before, but I'll just kind of hit on the big points. Basically, the proposed loan is effectively a loan from the bank to a tax-exempt organization, in this case, school. Unlike our normal bonds, like we just did the EDA revenue bonds, this loan will not be secured by the credit of the city. The city is not pledging any collateral. The city is not responsible for any of the payments on the loan, and the financing will not affect the city's credit rating, and there are no taxpayer funds involved in the loan payments. We've had our bond counsel, Mary Ipple, at Taft Law, review the documents. She's found them to be satisfactory. And basically, yeah, the city is not responsible for paying the loan in any way. There's no tax revenue. We haven't pledged any security. It does not constitute debt of the city. The documents do contain adequate indemnification and reimbursement provisions for the city and protect the city from risks. So basically, in the end, we're issuing conduit debt so that they get a tax-exempt status on the loan, and it's to the benefit of the charter school. And they'll use the proceeds to buy out the leases on 2 buildings they have and benefit from the difference in those prices. And this doesn't, this doesn't commit the city to anything else, right? This is a standalone item that doesn't commit the city to any future projects or other conduit debt or anything like that, so.
Yeah, I remember we had that discussion
Yeah.
way back, but I thought that was already at that point done.
No, this is, as a council, we've gone through this, we've talked about this at least a couple times at different meetings, but the council does need to be the entity that formally approves this, and then we'll actually execute the loan in, third week or so of August, is when we'll actually go through and sign things, yep.
So at this time, I'll open the public hearing on this item. If there's anybody that would like to speak on it, please step forward to the podium and state your name and address for the record. Is the applicant here? I'd like to hear from you.
Hello, Kevin Fitton, Executive Director.
You gotta hit the button there, Kevin, so it turns green. There you go.
Kevin Fitton, Executive Director at Art and Science Academy.
Nice to meet you, sir. We met, wasn't it a few months back?
Oh, several times, at the employer luncheon, other meetings, quite a few times here,
The last time we met, though, was at the luncheon.
I believe so.
Yeah, okay. So my main question that I'm getting is, what are they doing over there? And me,
Such as,
the main question that I'm getting approached from the residents is, are they building a high school? What are they doing over there? Why do they need this loan?
eventually we will be. That's the next down the pipe as we work on this project. But the first part is we do have to actually purchase our buildings. And so under Minnesota law, a charter can't own its buildings directly straight out. So there is a workaround to this. It's what's called an affiliated building corporation. And basically you form a second organization that ends up being the legal entity. They're the ones who will actually own the buildings, and then the school leases it from them. And so this is part of that acquisition process of us being able to buy the buildings first, because our leaseholder at the moment is CSDC, which is Charter School Development Corporation. They're a nationwide organization that helps charters get started, et cetera, et cetera. They basically help front the money to get that to work. But the whole goal of working with them is to eventually buy the lease out, because they don't want to be the long-term holder. They just want to get it going and then move on. So we pay about a 20% overhead to them because of that service. And so by doing this and by buying our buildings, not only do we have more direct control of our properties, but it also ends up saving us on the lease costs and everything else. And so that's why we came to the city about the tax conduit portion of that, is because that ends up helping us be better stewards of public dollars, because we're paying less in financial costs. We're paying less in the loan amounts, et cetera. Whereas if we weren't able to do that, we would actually have to do it through a commercial loaning process, which would be at a much higher rate, usually about 5-6% right now, compared to the 3.2, I think, is what the tax revenue is. So the whole point of that is trying to be as efficient with public dollars as we possibly can. Unfortunately, since we don't have tax levy authority like a traditional district, we don't have access to those kind of bonds and loans. We have to do it this way in order to try and access that tax exempt component.
There you have it. Now I can answer that question. Any questions or discussion you have, gentlemen? Well, thanks for answering that question for me, Kevin. I appreciate that, sir.
Yep.
Anybody else that would like to speak on this item? With that, I'll close the public hearing on this item then.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Motion to approve by Councilman Lundin and second by Councilman Gordon. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Business items. K1 is a editorial and legal analysis review and modification to ordinances. Now, Ms. Wood, you want to take these just A through F, or?
Mayor, thank you. You can, the council can vote on these all together, A through F, or do them individually. I'll just run through all of the ordinances that you see here for modification that was done part of the editorial and legal review. Some were the repeal and replace, and others were amended. Some of these were minor amendments that, whether it had to update a state statute, it had to clarify some language, maybe there was a misspelling or something like that. Those were all taken into consideration to make sure that our city code is up and current. These were all discussed at our committee of the whole meeting that we had on June 15th. It has been posted for the required 10 days. The only thing that you did not see before you at the June 15th meeting was the final version of the Chapter 256 property maintenance standards, but as discussed at that committee of the whole meeting, it was to include all properties, not just, all businesses, not just residential, or, I'm sorry, all business buildings, not just residential, but it included commercial as well, as was discussed.
That's how I know I'm human, is when Josie starts stuttering her words, then I know I'm okay. Any discussion?
Make a motion to approve all A through F.
I have a motion to approve K1A through F by Councilman Lundin. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Collison. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Anything that needs to be discussed in that consent agenda, gentlemen?
No, K2.
Oh, I'm sorry, we have that addendum, K2. K2 was the resolution declaring a critical water deficiency.
So I
I
will take
knew
that.
this was coming.
Yep, so as you know, that the state of Minnesota, we are in drought conditions. We did receive a notification from the Department of Natural Resources, who holds our water appropriations permit, that we have entered into a drought warning phase. This has gone past the drought watch phase. With that next phase in their statewide planning, it is that all of the water communities over 1,000 people in population need to do some restrictive bans, which is something that we actually have in city code. It's in chapter 325, section 16. That was a requirement that we had to have in our city code when we do our water supply plan. I believe that might have been in this last update. We do a water supply plan every 10 years. And For us to go into that critical water deficiency stage, it does need to be declared by the mayor or the governor to make those reductions that we're going to impose on our residents. Those are within your packet, but there are quite a few things. At this time, because it is not mandatory that we do all of these at this time. Now, if the DNR says that we have entered into the emergency phase of the drought, then they all would be required. So it is up to council if you want us to do all of these as they're asking us to, or if we want to do some of them. But those are included in your packet, and we do already have, you know, that when people can sprinkle their lawns unless it's sod, but this would actually make it where they wouldn't be watering their lawns and some other.
So I think personally, the odd number of days should be the odd addresses, and the even numbers should be even addresses from the hours of 12 to 6 p.m., that they should not be watering. I think that is,
So what it says in chapter.
should be done.
325, section 16, for the emergency water conservation measures. If we declare this as the emergency, as the DNR is asking us to do, is outdoor irrigation of yards, gardens, golf courses, parklands, and other non-ag land, except for those areas irrigated with reclaimed water, is prohibited. So it would be no irrigating. This would include residential businesses as well as city properties. Washing or spraying of sidewalks, driveways, parking areas, tennis courts, patios, and other paved surfaces, unless it is to alleviate immediate health or safety hazards. The outdoor use of any water-based play apparatus connected to a pressurized source is prohibited. Restaurants and other food service establishments are provided from serving water to their customers unless water is specifically requested. Operation of outdoor misting systems such as cool public areas, I don't believe we have any of those in ours, but perhaps the bar does, I'm not sure. The filling of swimming pools, fountains, spas, or other exterior water features would be prohibited, and the washing of automobiles, trucks, trailers, and other types of mobile equipment is prohibited, except at facilities equipped with a water wash facility that has a recirculation system. So it does get very restrictive. As I mentioned, at this point in time, it is not mandatory, but is requested that we do what the section of city code says we can do if we declare there a critical water deficiency. If I may, I would maybe give a recommendation. I know we have a lot of development going on. We have a lot of sod potentially going in. We may want to make an exclusion for those at this time.
We've done
so
it
people are
in
able
the
to put
past.
that in, or we can ask Ms. Selman to reach out through our building official and maybe suggest that they don't put sod in right now, maybe wait, and we work with them. Because if the DNR does get into the next phase, or into the emergency phase, and we don't have a choice, this becomes mandatory, any sod that they did put in may not make it. It may not go dormant if we continue to get this hot weather,
Then we're fighting the same thing we're fighting on 6th Avenue right now,
potentially.
where the
I know-
sod
I
just
know.
won't take.
Yeah.
And they just keep replacing it. And I mean, somebody look at it and say, oh, it's the contractor replacing it. It doesn't matter. They're still replacing it. That's a headache, and so I don't know. I'm
I think we
up
run
to
into,
discussion or suggestions, gentlemen.
I think we run into the issue of if you tell them not to put sod down, that we're gonna have a problem, because there's gonna need money escrow, and the neighbors are gonna complain because now it's dry and it's blowing in their dirt in their yard and their houses. I think we need to allow them to sod until it is put as a state of emergency. And then at that point, we'll have to deem that, unless they can get water hauled in elsewhere to water it, you know.
Because to give them the certificate of occupancy, I'm pretty sure the sod has to be done.
No, it doesn't. They'll escrow money out for that.
We'll just hold it until they get it'd be like the driveway as well.
They'll just escrow that money, so let's say it's $5,000 for the yard, they have to escrow $5,000.
Yeah, so our escrow for landscaping is $6,000 and driveway is $2,000. But telling them that, not to put the sod in, they're under contract with the homeowner as well. So that's gonna be someone's additional cost, because they weren't planning to escrow it, because they were gonna put the sod in. I don't know how we could really, unless it is declared, but
So then at this time, we would give the exception though to allow them to
I
continue
would.
water sod if they had sod.
And then I think I think we should be retroactive and go into odd even sprinkling days right now. That'll help.
So we already have that happening.
I don't
That's
think
already in city
Unless-
code.
It
It's already
is, but it doesn't
a Code
matter.
enforcement thing. I mean, this actually goes to, there's no watering. That's what this next phase is, because we already have the odd even.
Yeah,
I didn't even know we had it. And I'm
yeah,
the
we
mayor for
do,
crying out
but
loud.
it's, nobody follows it.
I mean, if we're just
There's
being,
also a time frame that we should.
We only have it when we initiate it though, correct?
No, it's in
No,
the,
it's already in there.
it's already in the code.
Yep. It's to help so we don't have major influxes at the water treatment plant that isn't sustainable. And if there was an issue, we have to make sure that we don't go over capacity, what we can provide. So there is still, there's always been the even.
Watering
watering.
ban, even in odd days?
Yep.
Not really a
I
ban,
thought
it's
it was-
just
I
watering.
thought we would have to be notified of that.
No,
Of the
it's,
even odd?
Yeah, when that takes place.
Mayor and council, I actually have that on the city website right now as a news and update announcement on there, that is an annual restriction that is on the website for people to see. It's
Yep.
been on there for-
Between noon and 6
couple
PM and odd even, it's in chapter 325, section 17. That is something that's in our regular code, not with a water deficiency or critical issue at all. That's already been, that's always, we have not added that, that's been in there.
Did you know that?
I knew it was there,
I
but
know, I
I
didn't
thought
know
it
that
was-
either.
you come to my house and enforce it, and then we'll talk, yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't water between noon and 6, but odd or even, I mean, I was gonna go home and water tonight and I can't. Now that I know this.
It's May 1st through September 1st every year, and sod has always been excluded from that anyway, also. So
May 1st to what?
May 1st through September 1st.
It's always been in there, but it's never really been pushed.
I don't mean to laugh, Councilman Gordon.
My lawn never gets watered, it gets
I was just gonna, that's why I started laughing. I was gonna say, what are you
Yeah.
talking about? You got a hayfield going on over there. What do you mean?
Yeah, yeah.
You didn't say that.
No, I didn't say that, no. But if we're only being requested to do this, then why don't we just request the residents to do it and not mandate it or enforce it necessarily if we don't have to? I mean, to maybe just put it on the city website and say the state's requesting that we bring these things to your attention, and we're bringing them to your attention now, and
Well, I mean, if
leave it
we,
at that.
But also I'd put the disclaimer, if we go into the state of emergency, there will be
there's
no
no
watering.
choice.
If we don't, yes. If it
And we
becomes
will not have any
mandated,
choice.
that we- right.
If it's, once it's mandated, we won't have any choice.
Yeah, once
Yeah,
it's,
but that's out of our control at that point.
Right.
but-
Yep.
But I mean, I think it's kind of, I mean, we can sit here and pass this and then tell me who's gonna go and make sure it gets followed. I mean,
Every one of my neighbors would be fining anyway. I mean, it's just, every city has that. I mean, every city I've gone through has odd even watering restrictions. Every city does. I think you go through Zimmerman's got, as soon as you get in town, it's a big sign hanging there. So,
So what I'm hearing is I think that the council will want to make a motion to remove the resolution attached with item K2. That would then come forward if it becomes mandated by the DNR, by the state. At this time, staff will proceed with just educating the residents of what the DNR is asking the city to do and what the businesses and residents to do. And we'll just post that section of that chapter 325-16 of here are the things, and these could become mandatory if we are mandated to do so.
I mean, I guess the only thing that would worry me is I'd have to look over at Mr. Sylvester and say, we're not gonna dry up, are we?
As far as what? As far as running out of water? Or-
Yeah.
Water tower.
Well, I think that's what the DNR is concerned about, is, being able to backfill with the aquifer with all the water we're taking out, and that imposes, the more water you pull out of the aquifer, it changes the makeup of the water, could change the makeup of the water slightly. So those are, I think, some of their concerns with why they're imposing this phase. I think if we don't get rain, it's gonna, in my opinion, it's just gonna get mandated by the governor.
yep,
It's dry.
yep.
But we're pumping more water now than we were at this time last year by about almost 300,000 gallons, 228,000 gallons. Right now, we're averaging higher than we were last year, and there were record highs last year.
And part of the request also is that public water suppliers reduce their water use to 50% above January levels, which if you want to share what January levels are and what we're at now.
So we would basically have to reduce our water use by about 750,000 gallons
Per day,
per day.
per day.
That would be the.
Good
goal.
luck, Mr. Governor.
So, a lot of water.
I make that motion what Josie just said.
And what we'll do is we'll bring that resolution forward if we're required to do so then.
Okay?
Sounds good.
Second.
What do you need?
So he made the motion to remove K2 resolution and direct staff to put this as informational for our Facebook page and website.
So I have a motion from Councilman Lundin to remove K2 and to bring the information forward for, to inform and
Social media.
educate the residents of Isani.
I'll second it.
And second by Councilman Gordon. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Anything in the consent agenda, gentlemen? You have any concerns or
Make a
discussion
motion
you'd
to
like have?
accept.
Second.
Motion to accept by Councilman Lundin and a second by Councilman Collison. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Anything else, Ms. Wood, or are we good? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Do we have closed
Oh,
session?
oh,
Closed
yes,
session?
see, you almost,
We have a closed session.
yeah, at this time, we do have a closed session for discussion to purchase real estate property, PID 16090.0102, 901 Eastwood Boulevard, Northeast in Isani, Minnesota, persistent to Minnesota Statute Section 13D.05, Subdivision 3Z. C, not Z. So at this time, I have to excuse each and every one of you in the audience. You can wait in the hallway if you wouldn't mind, and we'll let you in as soon as we are done with this closed session.